Hey, welcome to Trig Spring 2025. I put the wrong year there. I'm still having trouble accepting that it's 2025, so I will fix that before the class launches. So we're just going to do a run through of the class, kind of an overview. I highly encourage you to go in and poke around and make sure that you know where everything is. And the week one check, which you're going to see in a minute, is a syllabus quiz. So you just open the syllabus and answer the questions, and it's just to get you familiar with the class. No math involved. All right. So my name is Meredith Ratliff. You can call me Dr. Ratliff. You can call me Miss Ratliff. You can call me Hey You. Anything like that is fine. If you want to reach me, Canvas is the best way for messaging, and you can text me on my phone. I generally don't answer calls on my phone, and texting is great for like if you're stuck in the homework and you just can't figure out why you're getting something wrong, you can text me a picture of it, and then I can help you through it that way. If you text me a question, try to give me as much context as you can because I might be in the middle, like I might be out of the house or something like that. So if you can send me a picture of the problem or what you're working on, then that helps a whole lot, and I can help you right then and there, and then you're not sitting there frustrated because you're stuck on your homework. All right, so we're gonna have office hours noon on Fridays. That's just I'll be online for at least 30 minutes. Zoom will kick me out at 40 minutes if nobody comes online. I'll stay as much as an hour. If people are online and asking questions and needing help, I can stay for an hour or probably even more most days. Um, so that's just for you to pop in and ask a question, then you can go whenever you're done. We're not covering any material. If you need more help, like, hey, I just don't understand section 9.3, we can sit down and do it then. I'm also available after the live session, so if that time doesn't work for you, we can do that. I might also add Sunday at 3 o'clock. Maybe not as official time, but just as I'm available if you want me, send me a note kind of a thing. And then our live sessions will be Tuesday at 7. They'll go for about an hour. They're not required, but when we look at the module videos kind of cover the basics of each section. They don't cover the more advanced, like putting things together or the more difficult problems that you're going to see in my math lab in Pearson. So most people will need to either come to the live session or watch the recording. If you can't come at the time that it's scheduled, then watch the recording. I highly recommend that. Unless you're really good in math or you've seen this before, it's going to be difficult to figure it out on your own. And again, the module videos don't cover like the harder problems. It covers the basics. So I highly recommend that you come live if you can, just because I like to see you. But if you can't, then watch the recording. I'll let you read through most of this. This is the important stuff, the grading. So you'll have homework, weekly checks, projects, 3 tests, and a final. You can drop one of the 3 tests, but you cannot drop the final. The final will be cumulative, and everybody has to take it. Yeah, so this goes through and explains that. I'm just going to kind of go through this quickly. You have online tutoring and you have on-campus tutoring. I'll check that link before we go live. That's from last semester. I think it worked. And it's got the directions on how to get there if it doesn't. For calculators, so Desmos has been hit or miss on whether or not I can connect it to HonorLock, and my general policy is either everybody uses it or nobody uses it. So I'm not going to allow Desmos on tests if some people cannot get to it, like if it's blocking people for some reason. I have not been able to figure out why it's blocking certain people and not others, and I haven't had students really want to sit down and troubleshoot it. So we'll do a practice test, and if everybody can see Desmos, then we'll use it. If not, you're going to need a calculator. You can just borrow one from school or a friend or whatever just for the tests, because you can use Desmos the rest of the time. But if we're not using Desmos on the test, you're going to need to know how to use a TI-83 or TI-84. Okay, so that was kind of the long version of just you're going to need a calculator. If you have a disability or you're working to document one, if you could let me know, that would be great. Yeah, the rest of this. Academic honesty, just, bottom line, do your own work. Um, I've had some issues with this lately, and I will not hesitate to, bust people on that. I take academic honesty pretty seriously, and if you just do your work, if you do the homework and you do the reviews, you're going to be fine on the test. So there's no need to cheat, and it's cliche, but you're cheating yourself. That whole thing is true, especially if you're going into anything related to math or science. This is like the stuff, even if you're not going to be a math major, this is stuff that you need. All right, especially if you're going into like, computers or anything STEM related. And even if you don't think you need it, you still might come across it. Like it comes up in all sorts of things. Okay, so let's take a look at the rest of the stuff real quick. So modules, you've got here. So this start here, this welcome video will be in here. You've also got a video to integrate with Pearson. I might need to update that. It's a little bit hard to know because I don't see what you see. So if it's not making sense or it's really out of date, let me know and I'll see if I can find a way to update it. Might have to go through like one of my kids' accounts or something and see if I can do it that way. The Zoom session links and recordings are all here. So this is the link to join the live session and office hours. This is the link that will have all the recordings and notes after they happen. So if you can't come to a session, it'll be on the Google Doc. And then for the modules, you can see everything is laid out week by week. I've got all the projects here up at the front just to make them easy to find, but you can collapse that so that they're not in your way. And then every week is laid out for you. So you've got all your assignments, all of your dates, all that stuff. And you can, if you want to work ahead, you can. So the first week, we're just covering 9.1. And I say just because it's a massive section. So we might not even finish 9.1 for the first week. And then the week one check is just a syllabus quiz. So there's no math involved in that. I've got it unpublished right now because I've got to update it. And then anything marked optional review are things that students have asked me for or I found that they needed. There's no grade attached to it, but I've put it there because I think that it's really helpful. So you can see every week is kind of laid out like that. At the beginning, we have more of these optional practice things because they're like basic fundamental skills. And then you'll see as we move on after that, there's really not as much. So I have some little extra practice things that you can do. Those are all optional. And then when we get down to the test, you'll see we've got review sheets, we've got a quizzes review, and then you've got the test. So we've got plenty of stuff to prepare us for the tests. I don't like tests to be a surprise. I want them to ensure that you know what you should have been learning. So I don't do like surprise things on tests or anything like that. All right, so that's the basic outline. Each week you'll have a weekly check. Those are like super basic questions. They're I kind of highlight the things that students that usually trip up students or they usually ask me about. And then it gives you feedback on like why that one's not right. And then you can take it as many times as you want to get the right answer. So if you got the material from the videos, you should be okay on the weekly check. If you are struggling, then the weekly check will help you before you get to the. All right, and then for the homework, you're going to click on Access Pearson. Let's hope this is set up. Okay, it's going to come up here with a thing. You're going to need to make sure that you do not have a pop-up blocker on. Mine prompted me when I went to connect to Pearson this time that I had a pop-up blocker on, so hopefully yours does too. But this is not always very straightforward. Like you would think you just go click, click, and you're in, and it's not. So kind of our first task for the semester is making sure that we can get into Pearson. So I just set this up. I'm hoping that this will go through. Okay, it does. We're a little bit off screen here, but okay, we've got everything. The dates are wrong. All right, so I'm going to have to go in and fix those. I will do that hopefully before the class launches. But at least make sure that you can get in here to this. Let me see if I can move this over just a little bit. Yes, there we go. Okay, so over here are some of the things that you'll want to have. Yours is going to look a little bit different from mine. That's okay. The e-text is something that is very useful, and a lot of students never open it to see what it is. So the e-text is the entire textbook just put into, the online format. And sometimes it takes forever to load. But you can go for any of, like, let's say you're struggling with, what are our sections? That's pre-calc. Let's say you're struggling with 9.3, which is graphing. Okay, so you've got more stuff here. You can read through and see more examples. You can go through the pages. This would be exactly like the printed textbook if you got that. You can look at some more practice questions and things like that. So you have the whole textbook in there. So when people ask me, do I need the textbook? I say no. Oh, here, go back to here. Okay. And then in the study plan, you have more practice problems that have the answers. In the e-text, you're going to have to flip to the back of the book like you used to, like, I don't know, maybe you guys are too young for that. You used to have to flip to the back of the book to get the answers. The study plan will give you practice problems on anything you want. So you just need to go to all chapters, go to the chapters that we're using. So you would go to like 9.3 here. And then we don't cover everything in every chapter. So look for the types of problems that you're having trouble with. So like, yeah, I'm having trouble with sine and cosine graphs. You can click on that and it gives you some practice problems. These don't affect your homework score at all. They're just extra problems that you can do. Your homework is going to be under assignments. That's what you actually have to do. Okay? So let's see. Uh, I think we covered everything that we need to cover for the moment. I'm sure you're going to have more questions, but poke around in that stuff. See if you can get connected to Access Pearson. Everybody can use a 2-week free trial. It might not look like this. Oops. We'll have a pretty homepage by the time you guys get here too, hopefully. It Here it is. It might not look like this, but there's somewhere in here it's going to say use an access code. That's like if you bought it from the bookstore. You can pay for it directly, or you can, somewhere in there it should say get a temporary access code. So you can use that for 14 days. That means everybody should get started on the homework, even if you don't have like financial aid to pay for it right now. You can get started on the homework and you have it for 2 weeks. Okay, so it might look different from this, but somewhere on that page they don't advertise it very big. You got to look for it. There's a free trial for 14 days. Okay, so I think that gets us through the basics. Welcome to the class. I'll send out some announcements. We'll have our first session Tuesday night, and you guys send me any questions that you have. And hopefully I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye.